Alright, welcome back to another Embrace Destiny video, everyone. Today we are celebrating the story of Destiny. That's right, the elusive story. Um, if you're familiar with Destiny at all, you'll know that most of the history and the backstory of the universe of Destiny was hidden away in something called Grimoire, in your Grimoire cards. Basically, every item you would collect, every location you would visit, would give you a collectible digital card that contained a piece of backstory, a snippet of history, or like a chapter of a book. But unfortunately, not only was that obscure enough, but those cards were not available in the game. You actually had to go to Bungie.net and read them. And it's really a shame, actually, because the story of Destiny is very interesting, but you have to do a lot of work to get it. But in the celebration, Destiny 2 coming up, beta's next week, and if you get over 5,000 Grimoire score, then you are entitled to a new emblem, which denotes you as a lore master. So that's what we're celebrating here today. In order to finish it up, I actually had to go through and find a bunch of the dead ghosts. I've collected every dead ghost in the game, except for two that are only available if you're on PlayStation. I'm on Xbox, so yeah. So it was pretty great. I really like the backstory and the history of Destiny. The story that we got was the main problem is this: when they first made the game, they made a linear, comprehensive story, and the executives, the producers, whatever, the upper management, they kind of looked at it and they were like, okay, first problem. It's a great story, but it's so straightforward, people are going to play it once and never go back. Secondly, they were probably influenced by kind of a Dark Souls mentality. In the game Dark Souls, most of the history is not told to you. You have to find it. You have to understand the story by viewing statues with inscriptions on them, and then you piece them together. So it's very similar, but the problem is by actually abstracting that story and putting it onto these collectible cards that you can only view online, it really removes the story from the player. Let me just switch something up here quickly. This. No. Where is it? There we go. And yeah. And one moment, just a little housekeeping. There we go.
We can't afford another Omnigul situation. Get in there, assess the threat, and aid Rasputin. To the war.
Yeah. So a lot of the story was hidden away and abstracted from the player, which is unfortunate. And if you've seen any coverage for Destiny 2 so far, you'll know that they have really kind of doubled down on the ability to deliver a story. I mean, I think the story aspect of Destiny Crucible's been shown a couple of times, the multiplayer arena, but the story is where they're focusing, and I think they want to try and I think they want to try and prove to the general audience that they're actually able to deliver a coherent, cogent story. So, if you play through Destiny and you have absolutely no inkling desire to learn more about the story, you can get through the entire game that way. Like most games, you can... oh, my partner is way over there. Like most games, you can kind of get away with just ignoring it and not knowing about it, and especially when it's abstracted away. But the story is really interesting. So basically, right now, the Taken came out during the Taken King expansion, surprise, and it dealt with basically kind of a revenge story. In the first, let's see if I can do this without dying. In the first main game, you learn that you are a guardian. You are the Traveler is a giant, mysterious object that's surrounding Earth and giving Earth and humanity a lot of powers. And you learn that. Ooh, I'm dead. Yeah, you learn that there's the Traveler who gives you light. There's the darkness that seems to be a mysterious, nebulous set of agents that are fighting it, and you end up facing off against Crota, um, who is a member of the Hive. Anyway, it's going to be probably hard for me to put a lot of the story in a cogent order here as I play. I would definitely recommend checking out the YouTube channels called and Mylan Games. They do these really nice episodes that kind of walk you through not only the story, but all the characters, all the history, who's who, what's what. Really great videos. But simply put, the Traveler came to Earth, gave us a lot of powers. Then the darkness came and pushed us back, and we've been fighting back ever since. And Destiny 2, we faced off against the Hive. Destiny 2 is looking to oh, hold on. There we go. Destiny 2 is facing off against the Cabal. There are hints all through Destiny 1's storyline. There are hints about basically these giant Klingon-like turtle creatures who have an empire, and they're looking for ways to extinguish the Guardian's light because they can't. It's a threat they can't really deal with. I mean, we, as Guardians with our ghosts, we are able to come back to life at any time, and it's obviously how do you face an enemy when you can do that? So Destiny 2 is going to be about the Cabal seeking to remove... oh, there it goes. And did my team leave and abandon me? Maybe. Destiny 2 is all about losing that light and what it means to be a Guardian and actually deserving it. And our third guy is down below. This will make for an interesting video. Yeah, but some of the interesting. Let me point out some of the interesting pieces of the backstory of Destiny that are not in the game anywhere that I think are absolutely brilliant. So the Hive, you face off against the Hive a couple of times. They are these really alien-looking creatures, and you fight them, and they disintegrate before your eyes, and they are responsible for some of the bigger bosses in the game. There's the Crota, who I mentioned earlier. There's the Taken King, who happens to be his father. And the Hive are really interesting. They basically started as a group of really low life forms living on a series, I believe, of asteroids that was inhabited by a lot of different kinds of creatures. And they were tired of getting stepped on. They were tired of being, you know, basically, they were tired of being the lowest form of life. So they made a deal. They made a deal with the darkness, whatever that is. And the darkness basically said, "Fine, I will grant you strength. I will grant you power, but in return, strength and power." So the result of that is the Hive are unable to stop fighting. They're unable to stop questing for greatness, and that means there are stories of the Hive where they have, you know, brothers have killed sisters and parents have been killed by their children because their children are literally unable to stop questing for power. Also interesting on top of that is that the Hive believe in something called the word logic. Basically, it's we're not done yet. Oh, there's one more. There we go. Basically, it's survival of the strongest, and a lot of the really hard extended missions of Destiny involve having... Ooh, hold on. Oh, no. Cute. They involve having to go and... Because when you attempt to kill a Hive, especially one of the higher level Hive... where is this person dead? Okay. When they don't completely cease to exist, they basically go to their own little parallel universe and they survive. And the only way that you can truly eliminate them is to go to their little universe and kill them, showing that you have embraced the sword logic and you have beaten them with strength. So I think that's really interesting. I mean, this is bent on having to, like, almost torturously having to fight, having to prove their strength, and the fact that they you have to go into their like other little throne world or whatever. Very interesting backstory. The Fallen, who you don't really see in this mission. They, as I've described them, they are basically they are space pirates, space spider pirates. They are a race. These guys right here, actually, who I'm fighting. Okay, I'm gonna die. Smooth. I'll drop this right here. Alright. Yeah, they were a race that actually had the Traveler come to them. And the Traveler came and basically did what he did for humanity. He or it, whatever, provided them with a great existence. And there you go. And he improved upon their civilization. And then for some reason, for some unknown reason, he left. And their civilization and crumbled. And you think, and I'm wondering if we're going to see a bit of that in Destiny 2, because humanity in Destiny really has come to rely on the Traveler. I mean, the entire city's infrastructure, the government and organization, it all relies on the Traveler and the Traveler's light. So the fact that we lose it in Destiny 2, I think we're really going to see people fall apart, and we're really going to see a desperate struggle. And that's the whole point. I mean, that's the whole point of Destiny, to rebuild after the darkness. Then you've got the Vex. The Vex are very cool, but again, it's kind of a secret removed from the game, unless you do the Vault of Glass, and then you get a lot of information. So the Vex are these kind of robotic. They're a sentient life form that you see in the game in the form of these robots, and they appear to be teleporting everywhere. Go face them in the Vault of Glass. You learn even more about them. You learn that they are not actually teleporting around. The Vex are a sentient life form that exists in the form of like kind of a they look like a milk-like substance. You see in the Destiny 2, like when you see them do the strike, they're on a planet that has like almost like a waterfall of this kind of weird milky okay, hold on. Popular. Of this kind of like weird milky substance, and what you actually like find out if you pay attention is that is the Vex. The Vex are not the robots. The robot is a shell. Oh, I missed. No. No, I wanted to punch it to death. Ah, foolish Titan. The Vex are the sentient milk-like substance that exists, and they house themselves within these robots. And what you also find out is that they have a connection to time. They are able to move backwards and forwards through time, and they believe in like kind of logical absolute determinism, where if you are able to account for every factor of the universe, then you could completely predict it. And if you're able to completely predict it, you can manipulate it and control it. And that's what the Vault of Glass is all about. You know, you end up playing the Vault of Glass, and there are many times where if you don't follow the mechanics completely, you just get wiped. You just get killed. And what you find out if you look at the Grimoire and do a little bit of investigating, check out those channels I mentioned earlier, you find out that actually, in the Vault of Glass, the Vex have complete control over time. And what they do is if you don't disable their defenses, they erase you from the timeline. which I think is really interesting because there are some missions where you go into the Vault of Glass and you learn about it. You hear a guardian speaking to you, and the the Vanguard back at the tower are like, wait, I think I know of that person. And I like the idea that the person's literally been lost, and not just, they're gone and forgotten, but they are forgotten because they are removed from existence. And you finding them actually puts them back into the timeline. So it's very interesting. Anyway, this video's run quite long and it's been a bit rambly. Short version is, I've got my lore master status, I've got 5,000 grimoire score, I've got my nice little wanderer emblem here. I'm going to get Destiny 2, I'm going to be playing the beta next week. I'm also probably going to be putting another video, maybe early next week. I've got a friend over who's never really played Destiny, so I'm going to get him to try it out, and it should be a lot of fun. So I hope you come back and check that out. Anyway, short version is, well, I said that already, but Destiny has a really interesting story. The writers recently have said that they view Destiny as more of the world building and setting up the foundation, and Destiny 2 is where they're going to start addressing some questions and answering them. It's a nice speech. I don't think it was entirely intentional. I honestly think they screwed up with how they delivered the story. But it's nice to see them turning that around, and I hope that they've learned from their mistakes and they can provide us with an engaging experience. And if they can match that with the way that they've improved the multiplayer experience over the last 3 years, I think they will make a game that is as epic as we're all hoping. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to drop a comment down below or like or subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel. I like to connect with more people, and yeah, just let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked or didn't like, and what you're looking forward to in Destiny 2. I will see you all out there, and may the light be with you. Did I just say that? Yeah, how embarrassing. Oh well, I'm not editing it. Bye.